Saturday to everybody. Welcome in. Just want to give a shout out again to all the subscribers we got and keep the questions rolling. We'd love to answer questions in the comments. So what do we got planned for today here?
Well, today we'll do our final division, NFC North. We'll make our final predictions as far as the playoffs, who we think is going to win each division, wild card, and who we think is going to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
Oh boy.
And also you'll give your fantasy sleepers, who you might think, someone should look in their fantasy draft, because this
Done 6 mock drafts, guys, in 2 days. It's possible. It is possible.
When you have no life, it is possible.
I do have a life, but when it comes football and fantasy season, that is my life.
Such a waste of time.
Home Depot.
But we will start with the NFC North, home to my Green Bay Packers, and as promised, cheese hat. Yeah. That's right. Cheese hat.
You really went there this week.
I said I was going to.
I was hoping,
I am a man of my word.
Hoping you'd forget.
A man of my word. I'm going to stick to it. Wear it with pride. This is one of the 3 that I have.
One of the 3.
One of the 3. I have this one, a typical just regular cheese hat, and a cheese crown.
Oh, dear Lord, help us today.
I know, it's awesome.
As we're gathered here.
So, NFC North, last year, won by the Minnesota Vikings. Last game, which ended up hurting them in the playoffs. Instead of
playing the Redskins, they had to play the Seahawks.
Yep. So, yeah, the Packers, who lost, in the final game to, get the wild card, they went to the Redskins and beat them and advanced in the next round, whereas the Vikings got the Seahawks at home and lost in the first round.
Field goal, Blair Walsh.
Yeah. Surprised he's still with the team.
I know, they're pretty hard on kickers nowadays. Like, if they mess up in the title game or like an NFC title game or a big playoff game, they usually cut them the next year.
And that was a bad miss. I mean, that...
It was wide left, right? Wasn't it?
Yes, yep, wide left. And it wasn't even close.
No,
not even remotely.
He shanked that thing.
Oh, yeah. Just nowhere close to it.
So,
a lot of people are high in the Vikings this year. They have a lot going for them. They are a young team.
They had a great draft as well.
They have a good draft. So, with this division, it basically comes down between the Packers and the Vikings. Because, let's be honest, Detroit lost their best player in Calvin Johnson. So, forget it. They're done. They were bad last year with him. They're going to be even worse this year without him because they have no one to even replace him. Bears still have Jay Cutler as a quarterback. So, as long as they have him, they are guaranteed not to win a championship. It's just my opinion. There are
Mr. INT, don't draft him in fantasy. He is not one of my sleepers, guys. I can guarantee you that much.
There are some people that are still, on his bandwagon. Jesse Fry, our good friend who's a Bears fan, loves Jay Cutler for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but, he hasn't done anything. He had the one good year where he got him to the NFC Championship game where they lost to the Packers. The year the Packers won the Super Bowl. Other than that, it's been nothing. Bunch of
spirals.
Injuries. When he does play, he'll play well for a little bit. Then he'll start being Jay Cutler and throw interceptions.
Yep, exactly.
Looks bad. So until they get a different quarterback, they're not going to go anywhere. Because if you can't have a ton of touchdowns with when you had Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey,
and Alshon's still there, and they had Martellus Bennett at the time, and Forte.
If you can't score a ton of points with them. How can you consider yourself an elite quarterback? Their talent there was so off the charts, and yet they never lived up to their potential.
They had one of the top potential. They had one of the tallest receiving cores in the whole league between Alshon and Brandon Marshall.
And for the most part, their defense
had been serviceable. Middle of the road.
It's gone downhill these past couple years
since they lost Briggs and Urlacher and Peppers and.
It's gone down a little bit, but those years where they had, still had him, they should have won a Super Bowl with the talent.
Yeah.
So they underachieved, and then this year, they lost Matt Forte as well. So I honestly don't see them making any sort of noise at all this year. So like I said, it comes down between the Vikings and the Packers. Big thing this year, Packers have Jordy Nelson coming back. they missed him dearly last year. It was a completely different offense without him on the field. Also added Cook at tight end, which is something that they really needed. They need that pass-catching tight end, which they haven't had since Jermichael Finley left. And Rodgers was serviceable.
He wasn't the normal Aaron Rodgers, and I think
Richard Rodgers, the tight end. He was serviceable.
I gotcha.
And he obviously had the one big Hail Mary catch, but other than that, I mean, he didn't make
a whole lot of noise. He wasn't that big threat that they could put him on a linebacker, and he would probably win the battle.
Yeah, so they have Cook there to go along with him. Got Nelson coming back. Cobb can go back to his 2-hole, where he's a number 2 receiver. He's not going to be a number 1. He proved that last year. He can't be a number 1 receiver.
No.
He is a great number 2 receiver. Great number 2 receiver. You have Jordan Nelson that can stretch the field. Cobb can do the quick outs, slants, short routes. Then kind of have to see we've mentioned many times Devontae Adams and his inability to catch.
I've heard a lot that Jenkins is or Jeff Janis. Sorry.
Janis, yes, he's
started making a name for himself. He's been looking pretty decent in training camp.
Yeah, so you have Janis. You also have Tom Montgomery. Can he bounce back from that injury and actually have a full healthy season? Aberderis is there, trying to make a comeback as he was hurt a lot last year too. So they have potential to have these good receivers. One is health, and like for Adams catching the ball because he has the talent. It's just butterfingers,
Getting paid to catch.
Exactly.
Got to catch the ball.
Defensively for the Packers, it seems like it's always been suspect. It's been a long time since they've had that shutdown defense, especially when they had the talent on there that they have.
Their defense this year is either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. It's not going to be in the middle.
This has got to be a make-or-break year for Dom Capers. I mean, because for several years now, their defense just is purged on the passing game. I mean, the team has scored a ton against their offense has been their defense. Because they have to score a ton of points in order to basically outrun the other team's offense.
The defense hasn't had to have that big stop because they've been up by so many points.
And this year, I think their defense will be better than last year. Obviously, you have Clay Matthews still there. They're moving him back to outside linebacker where he belongs.
That's pretty big. They're going to have him and, I believe from what I heard on the NFL Network, going to have him and Julius Peppers on the same side now. So, I mean, have fun with O-line's trying to block the edges, I guess.
Yeah, they try to have Matthews inside linebacker last year. It's not where he's most comfortable. It's not where they need him on the outside linebacker, which is where he's going back to. Clelin Dix has another year under his belt. I think he can be a very good corner. Getting some people back from injury. Packers always seem to have a lot of injuries for some reason, both offense and defense. And so, I mean, I think their defense will be better. But
it certainly helps that they play only 5 teams in their schedule that was above 500 last year.
Yeah, they do have the easiest schedule now.
That's going to help some.
But now also a team like the Jaguars, they didn't have a winning record last year. This year,
they had a great draft and they had a big free agency.
Yeah, they're going to be good. So don't let this easiest schedule fool you when they're playing teams like the Jaguars, who last year
I think the Jags are going to
500.
shock a lot of people this year.
Yeah, so I mean, those teams last year under 500. This year, like them could be
a
good.
Little better.
So yeah, you can never overlook a team. Never do that. Right. You look at the schedule. The easiest schedule. If you go with that mindset, you're going to lose a game.
You're going to lose to some of those underdog teams.
Exactly. So you have to go in with every week of just the mindset concentrating on that team. Never overlook them. Never. If you have a big matchup the next week, just focus on that. I hate to say it, but Bill Belichick and the Patriots have done a great job of that, where it's always next week it's on to this team, and that's all they focus on. They never anyone asking about the week coming up where they might play the Jets or something like that. It's like, we're not concentrating on the Jets, we're concentrating on this team right here.
Classic Belichick.
And that's what you need. That's exactly the focus you need. Just focus on the team right in front of you. Whoever you play next week, who cares? You'll focus on that next week. As far as the Vikings go, they have a really, really young defense and a good defense at that. Young and good. This year, can Teddy Bridgewater continue to make progress? Did they finally get the help they need at wide receiver with who they drafted?
They got Laquan Treadwell. He's a possession wideout, but he's a big body. He was in my mind probably the best receiver in the draft board. He's got great hands. He's kind of a younger Anquan Bolden. He's a little bit faster than Bolden. And he has the same hand radius of a Bolden. And that's the thing, now that they have this hopefully dominant wideout, is Teddy going to be, will they take some shots down the field with them now. That's going to be a big thing. They had a great offseason. They got Boone from the Niners, Now they don't have that excuse anymore that, we're going to give AP 20 or 30 carries now. They got to kind of trust their players that they got there now.
Well, yeah, their biggest issue last year was they didn't have that big wide receiver. It was kind of a patchwork the entire year, which receivers, they'll throw in there. Cordell Patterson, huge bust. Can he finally live up to his potential outside of being a kick returner this year?
Yeah.
Because he has been, last year he just disappeared with the exception of the one horrible move he had where he scored on a kickoff return when they were down 35-0 and celebrated like he won the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want someone like that on my team. If you're celebrating like that, if you're pulling the attention to yourself and your team's being demolished, sit on the bench. I don't want anything to do with you. And I spoke with, obviously in the area we live in, there's a lot of Vikings fans. And I spoke with a lot of Vikings fans after that, and they all said, yeah, he looked like an idiot. And he did. It's horrible when you do that. So then also this year, Adrian Peterson, can he continue to dominate like he has?
They said in training camp that he's showed up in great shape and he's running like still the same old AP. So, that's the thing, he's in his 30s, but he keeps himself in great shape.
Yeah, 30s is usually, once you hit 30, that seems to be the year where the running backs just
that's the thing,
shoot downhill. And especially with a running back like him, because his style of running is so just hard. He will run into you. Yeah, Emmitt Smith, the way he was able to last so long is because he avoided contact. Adrian Peterson sometimes looks for it. He wants to run people over. Now, he has kind of gotten away from that some. He's gotten smarter, realizing I am getting older. I can't have this constant, beat down on my body. I do have to go out of bounds at times. I can't, try to run people over. And doing that will extend his career. But it's just can he continue to kind of defy the odds and play at such a high level in his 30s, where every other running back seems to just plummet and fall off the face of the earth. So it would be interesting in that. So, like I said, it comes down between the Packers and the Vikings.
So for mine, as of right now, I have the Vikings winning, and I just have the Packers as a wild card just because I don't know. There's a lot of questions, they have the health issues, and if Jordy stays healthy this year, I think they will win the division. They have a potential to make a deep run in the playoffs, but if he gets injured again or they have any injuries, then...
Well, every team is going to have injuries. It's just a matter of who gets injured. Yeah. It's a big injury. Jordan Nelson, they are taking precautions with. They're not running him out here. I think right now he's on the physically unable to perform list or the PUP list.
Yep.
So they're going to take precautions with him.
Which they should. He's a big piece. Even... It showed people last year, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but even he struggled without Jordy on the field, and he's a future Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, you have to have receivers get open, and he could get open, and then by other teams having to double team him, left people like Randall Cobb, because Randall Cobb cannot get open if he's getting double teamed. He proved that last year he can't.
Not a one.
So he's on. Yeah, Jordan Nelson's on the PUP list. You probably at this point, I don't think you'll see him at all during the preseason. They probably won't have him play until beginning of the year. So we'll see how that goes. Me, I have the Packers winning the division, obviously, and I do have the Vikings then as a wild card. Because both those teams are it's going to be an exciting year with those two teams. Because the rest of the teams, Detroit, like I said, Lions and Bears, forget about it. They're not going anywhere.
No.
All right, so we got the NFC North. Both have Packers and Vikings in, just flip-flopped.
Yeah, so we agree for
onto that. So now our final playoff predictions.
I want to go. Can I go first?
Go for it.
I just want to go. Okay, so I have AFC. I have the Patriots, Chiefs, Raiders wild card, Texans, Pittsburgh, and yes, those Jets.
Just got Fitzpatrick signed. That's a big
yeah, that's a big deal. That's the one reason why I have them. They have a great defense. They also, the big thing was if Fitzpatrick comes back, if they get Fitzpatrick, I'll give them a wild card. And two, yes, the Pats might struggle the first 4 games. I think opening game they play the Cardinals, and then they play the Texans in that realm, but they get Brady back he's only suspended for 4 games. Brady's going to be ticked off missing those 4 games, especially if they do bad.
Oh,
he's a warrior. He's a competitor. So I'm gonna take the Pats winning that division.
The Patriots, they play with a chip on their shoulder, and this is
every
time. Like last year when there was just talk about Deflategate, they were annoyed and they just beat people down. Now this year after Brady misses 4 games, he's coming back angry. So like, if you have a first pick in your draft, consider taking him.
I would consider.
You're going to miss the first 4 games, but when he comes back, he is going to come back with a vengeance, and he is going to put up massive points. For me, AFC, I have Patriots winning the East. South, I have the Texans.
Yep.
North, Steelers. That could fluctuate depending on Le'Veon Bell's situation. If he is in fact suspended for 4 games, that could hurt them. But then again, I don't trust really the Bengals, Ravens, and of course the Browns in that division.
I only put the Steelers in, and yes, the Browns are awful, but I have a sleeper for the Browns on my fantasy pick. I picked them in all in mock drafts.
That's the only bright spot the Browns have.
I picked the Steelers just because their backup was huge last year, D'Angelo Williams. He was a good fill-in for Le'Veon Bell.
He was, yeah.
And if they didn't have a healthy Antonio Brown or Roethlisberger in that playoff game, if they will stay healthy
most of the year,
right? If they have all of them healthy, I see Pittsburgh winning their division, just hands down.
Yeah, I have the Steelers winning as well. West, I have the Chiefs. My 2 wild cards. Jaguars.
Oh, man, he listens.
Raiders.
Okay.
I don't have the Jets in there. I'm kind of taking a lead there.
I like the Jags. That's what I would have done.
I like the Jags, and I really like the Raiders. I mean, it was close to me possibly
winning
I
was on the Raiders in the summer, like before when we started in all the other divisions. Mm-hmm. I was on Oakland. I think they're going to shock a ton.
I was close to putting them to win the division, but I don't think their defense is quite there yet. So I stick with the Chiefs. So now, who do you have coming out of the AFC to represent them in the Super Bowl?
I have the Pats.
Have the Pats?
I got the Patriots. Yeah, I think Brady's going to be ticked off. He's going to play like he's on a mission. They're going to go back to the Super Bowl.
Browns, Super Bowl champions.
Wave those brown towels.
Cleveland broke their curse with
Why not?
Cavaliers. So.
Why not? LeBron's going to come play wideout.
I can name a lot of reasons why the Browns aren't going to win. So, but no, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to have the Patriots come out of the AFC.
Yeah.
I think the championship game is going to be the Patriots and the Steelers. That's what I have as my championship game, and I think the Patriots will beat the Steelers and go to another Super Bowl.
That's what I have, Patriots, Steelers.
All right, so got the AFC figured out. NFC, who do you got?
I got Panthers winning their division. I got the Vikings, the Giants. I think the Giants are going to shock a lot of people, and I'll get onto that in the fantasy round. I got the Packers as my wild card, Seahawks, and I had the Cowboys, but Romo's health is so in question, I moved it to the Cardinals.
Yeah, he did not show up into camp in good shape.
No.
Yeah, internet's having a field day with the memes for him. They have one with side, have his picture of him running. The next day you have Peter Griffin in a Cowboys jersey. That's here comes Tony Romo taking the field. So yeah, he did not show up in good shape at all. So NFC East, I agree with you. The Giants.
Yeah. That
division is not good. I mean, I have the Giants kind of as a default because I don't trust the Redskins. I don't trust the Eagles. And I don't trust the Cowboys. So
I
who else?
The Giants just because I thought they had a great free agency on defense, and they got Odell Beckham, they got Victor Cruz. If he's healthy,
if he's healthy, he's missed the past 2 seasons. So I mean,
I'm just teasing. That's a teaser, though. I'm gonna throw in my boy.
I gotta
get to the fantasy round.
Yeah, Giants. Like I said, I trust them more than every other team in that division. Yeah. South, I have the Panthers.
Yep.
North, Packers. West, I have the Cardinals.
Okay.
Wild card, Vikings. Other wild card, Buccaneers.
Wow, Jameis Winston, huh?
He showed up to camp in great shape.
I have read about that.
They went on a run at the end of last year.
They're hungry, too. They're a hungry young team.
Yeah, they went on a run at the end of last season. Obviously, at that time they started the run, they were already out of it.
Right.
But they made a great run. I think Lovie Smith will get that team up and going this year.
Love that pick. Love that
I'm
pick.
going with the Bucs, but now
that pick.
It's hard to keep the Seahawks out just because the Seahawks have been so good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have kind of these two, throw out picks
and then
there.
the teams that made it last year, that's usually teams that don't make. So I tried to go off of that, but it gets when you're that deep in the playoffs, you can stick towards chalk for the title games at least.
So now NFC, who do you have representing in the Super Bowl?
So I'm wearing Niners stuff, but I gotta give it up. I got the Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my reason for that, yes, they lost Mebane, they lost Irvin, but the Seahawks, they lost Lynch, but they got Thomas Rolls, and the Seahawks, to me, they remind me so much of the Niners used to be. They're really deep at a lot of positions, and I just feel like Doug Baldwin's going to pick up where he left off. I feel like since I don't think they signed Jermaine Kearse back, so I think the guy that they have, Tyler Lockett, the rookie, I think he's going to have a big season. Richard Sherman, I read articles about Richard Sherman. What the heck? I'm going to get just my jersey burned.
Well, Rawls, he only played a couple of games last year, so I'm not going to base, he's going to be a great running back on those few games.
Oh, no,
so
I'm just saying, but they got a pretty deep running back core, and
I don't even have them in my playoffs. I was close to putting them in there, but as far as winning, I can't see them coming out of the NFC as champs. One, I don't want to see that same Super Bowl again we had just 2 years ago with the Patriots.
I didn't either, but
I am going to pick someone out of the West, and I'm going to pick that the Cardinals get there.
Even with Carson, he might have a relapse.
I think this is going to be his swan song year. Him and
so he's
going
to go out on the limp then. Him and
all out. Him and Fitzgerald, like I said, you have Josh Brown, John Brown on the two wide receivers.
Fitzgerald, Malcolm Floyd.
Yeah, and you have good set of
Honey
running backs.
Badgers coming back healthy.
Defense, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson. They have a good defense. I think it will be them and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl pick, Cardinals.
Okay. So my Super Bowl pick, I got the Steelers, Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Patriots and Seahawks.
Oh yeah, sorry, Patriots. Sorry. I wrote down the Steelers though. I'm going Steelers.
Okay.
I wrote it down. I'm sorry, Brady, but I just feel like
already flip flopping.
I just feel like I got it written down. I got so excited, I got so amped up with this subject here. So I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I think Big Ben will be healthy. Le'Veon Bell will come back from a suspension. Antonio Brown's gonna come out balling, and
So you have a rematch of the 2005 Super Bowl Steelers and Seahawks.
Pretty much, yep. And I got the Steelers winning.
So you have Seahawks Steelers. The Steelers coming out. I have the Pats and the Cardinals, with the Cardinals coming out on top. I would take either the Super.
I'd take either
Steelers
one,
and Seahawks. I don't think would be as entertaining. Patriots and Cardinals, I think would be a very entertaining Super Bowl.
There'd be
a lot of good storylines in that. You have Patriots, can they win a fifth with Tom Brady, and then you have the Cardinals, can Fitzgerald and Palmer finally get over the hump and win one? So I think that would be a lot of good stories.
I picked the Steelers and Seahawks just because it'd be totally epic to see Antonio Brown match up with Richard Sherman.
That would be.
Two of the best in the league.
So you have our picks. Now,
see which ones are close.
Who do you have for you fantasy people out there? Fantasy's right around the corner, getting your draft ready to go.
Yes.
Who do you got as some sleepers?
I got Tyler Lockett from the Seahawks. He was a rookie last year. He was a explosive player, had a lot of splash plays. I feel like with Lynch going, I think they're going to lean more towards passing. He's not really a sleeper, but he dropped in a lot of rounds. To a sleep, I got Derek Carr, the Raiders. I got Matt Jones of the Redskins. He's a very versatile back, can get you passing and rushing. Giving the Browns a little love, all right. I got Josh Gordon. He's 4-game suspension right now.
Yeah, you'll want to pick him up late.
Yes, later, exactly.
Yeah.
If he's still there, because he had horrible quarterbacks, including Brian Hoyer, and he still had, I think, like 10,000.
Well, he was suspended all last year.
When he was playing, I should say, he had.
Fine, this year his quarterback situation isn't any better.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I think RG3, he has a new scenery. He's hungry for it.
And he has to stay healthy.
He has to stay healthy. My other sleeper is Sterling Shepard, that rookie that the Giants drafted out of Michigan State. Or sorry, Oklahoma, sorry. I think he's with Odell Beckham getting a lot of double coverage. I think Sterling Shepard's going to have a big fantasy year. Also, I have Laquan Treadwell from the Vikings.
I don't know if he's so much a sleeper pick. I think a lot of people are pretty hot on him.
Well, he's not a sleeper pick, but I'm just going on my mock drafts. He dropped to a lot of later rounds, but those are my sleepers, so I mean, I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
that's why. I mean, I don't know.
I guess, a sleeper on just from the Packers that, people might look.
Oh, I got Jared Cook too, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jared Cook, that's me. But then also, as you had mentioned earlier, Jeff Janis. I wouldn't draft him,
No.
but just kind of
If he's on the waiver
keep an eye
wire.
on him on the waiver
He's a free
wire.
agent.
Yeah, you could maybe pick him if he can score you some points. So look out for him. Obviously, Rodgers, Lacey, Nelson, Cobb will all go pretty high. So yeah, watch out for someone like him who'll probably not go drafted, and you can pick up in the waiver wire. So pick notes, write that down. We'll see. Like I said, fantasy's right around the corner. Preseason starting very, very soon. Packers and Colts have the Hall of Fame game coming up, and it's about like a week or so.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
excited for football to start.
very excited. I love baseball, but we got to have some football in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, right around the corner. You have our picks for the Super Bowl. I don't suggest putting money on those picks, but it should be entertaining.
It'll be interesting at the most.
Leave your comments below. We'd love to hear who you think's going to be in the Super Bowl, who you think's going to win. Any questions ever, let us know. Like our videos, subscribe to us, like our Facebook page, share with your friends. Just leave comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer questions. Have a good night.